at 3 p.m. Pacific Time as we explore relationships, inner plane realities, channel light beings, learn from ancient wisdom, and share tools to navigate life with ease and grace. Are you ready to step into your highest potential? Subscribe to Mystery School. Your transformation starts.
Living a life by design. It's the journey back to you and living 365 days of purpose with host Esther Graham. Tune in every second and fourth Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific. Discover that what is possible is already in you. God designed a phenomenal life for you. At Living a Life by Design, Esther helps you ignite the energy behind your personal journey. For more information, visit fddwomen.com.
Are you ready to awaken the wisdom that's already within you? Join Shakti Botazzi on Soul Wisdom Project, Remembering the Living Blueprint of the Soul, where spirituality meets real life. Tune in every first and third Tuesday each month at 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio to open a doorway to healing and embodied purpose, helping you move from self-doubt to self-love and from confusion to clarity. Explore more at theawakenedpath.com.
Are you feeling stuck, drained, or disconnected from your true self? Join Manon Deverich and Dr. Pat on Aligned Energy, where ancient wisdom meets modern health and wellness. Tune in every second Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Discover how energy awareness and alignment can help you reclaim your power, vitality, and purpose. For more information, visit AlignedEnergyHealing.com and start your journey today.
Have you ever faced a situation where you weren't quite sure how to handle it with poise, confidence, and grace? Of course you have. We all have. Well, tune in to the Change Mastery Show with me, John J. Murphy. Together, my co-host, Dr. Pat, and I will introduce you to a different way to think about change. Not as something to fear or resist, but as a gift. Join us the second Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Subscribe, share, and start your journey to mastery at johnjmurphy.org.
The Crystal Coach Show.
Welcome to Becoming the Beautiful Discovery, the Courage to Wake Up. I'm Raina Begum, Coach Queenie B, and this is a space for anyone ready to reclaim their power, honor their truth, and rise from survival into self-awakening. I spent many years living by everyone else's rules, invisible in my own life, until holding my newborn daughter changed everything. From that moment, I began to rewrite my story, put myself first, and discover what freedom and beauty really mean. Here, along with Dr. Pat, we explored courage, self-care, and the messy, magnificent journey of awakening. Every scar can be a signature of strength. Every step can be a claim to your own life. This is your invitation to wake up, speak your truth, and become the beautiful discovery you are always meant to be. Becoming the beautiful discovery starts now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat, and get ready for a great show. What Rena and I are doing here is we're taking on a conversation that's, I'm going to say this for everybody. The conversation we're about to have is porous. And what I mean by porous, it is, you can see how the world is like a sponge on this particular episode. Goodness doesn't make you weak. Now, we're going to talk about goodness. We're going to talk about it as a lost art. But if there's anything that we have learned from Game of Thrones or other mega series out there, is that the fans don't like it when everything's bad. They just don't. They don't like how we treat certain people that are from a different ethnic background. They don't like certain things we do. Nobody loved, well, maybe Jessica. Nobody really loved the ending of Yellowstone. I don't think. Somebody out there must love that. But why is it? What is the confusion we have today about goodness? And, Rena, this is the conversation we're having today, but I'm not saying this has infiltrated our entire conversations at a very deep subconscious level, but then sometimes not subconscious. Sometimes it's just obvious, right? Where are you coming from on this?
Where am I coming from? Oh, wow. So I'm coming from the perspective of I am always told that I am too nice. I am too kind. I'm too whatever. And it makes me question who I am when people say those things. Sometimes it makes me feel as if they want me to be somebody different, or they feel like if I'm a bitch or if I'm mean or cruel or whatever, that I will get more of whatever it is that I want. I'm not really I'm not really sure why that is the go-to, because of the person that I am. Certain select people think, oh, well, you should be mean. You should be a
Yeah.
bitch. You need to let your guard down or put your guard up or whatever. And I spent years with my guard up. Years. I'm still getting to the point where, trusting people and the things that they say is difficult for me because of the situation that I grew up in. But I tend to believe, and I know that everybody has a part in them that is good. It's just, are you actually willing to accept it for what it is? I mean, we all have bad parts too, and we need to accept that as well. So that's where I'm coming from.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because let me just tell you, there is many people have heard, at least me or others, talk about 12-step programs, whether it's AA, NA, any A. I don't care what you want to call it. All of them. NA, AA, Gambling Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, all of it. And they have gone out of their way to make one of the steps for the month of July, excuse me, one of the month of July's key value is humility. And, that was one of the first structured, organized conversation about what that word means.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that we have to be a doormat.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
I think this is where this is a question. Now, I don't know who the people are that are giving you that advice, right? But I do know what they're saying. I had a conversation with one of my coaches over the weekend about dealing with two tech companies, GoDaddy in particular, who did something egregious to their billing payment cycle. And I found myself white knuckling it, when you hold on to something so tight, because I had my Native American prayer stick in my hand. And I'm telling you, I was holding on to that thing so tight, I think I got like little splinters.
Right.
Okay. So there's gotta be parts of this that we see that make sense for the individual we are, right? So what am I talking about? There are some of us that just, we have a side to us. That's why I've been called Pollyanna Patty. Patty, I wonder what your nickname is, right?
Oh.
But part of this is understanding how to learn the balance. So can you talk about that, especially if you're looking at being in the workplace? What if you're a contradiction to yourself? What if you're this child that's rewarded all the time for being good, but then you get older and people look at you as like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so good? I mean, what is this all about?
I don't, that's interesting. So I'm that person that, when people are like, oh yeah, I did this when I was a kid. I did this when I was a kid. And I'm like, yeah, no, I was that kid that was like really good. I was afraid of getting in trouble. I minded my P's and Q's, and I was that good person, and I still am, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of it. What I feel my issue was, and that I am still learning, is that I do have a bad side. You know, I do have a side that can be mean, can be horrible, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And unfortunately, that was due to me holding it in because I felt guilt and shame and ugliness from having those sides of me, because I thought that being angry was something to be shameful for. I felt that being able to express the things that made me unhappy uh, made me look a certain way. And so I overcompensated by being overly good. But it's who I am. But I think for me to come to terms with the fact that I am such a good person, and that this is the thing that people see first and foremost. And then they go, oh, you could never do that. Well, first of all, let's not underestimate me. Second of all, you know, why is it that I'm the person that you want to see that is only this way?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and so maybe, you know, and the people that have said the things to me, they are very loving, they are very kind, and they've seen me get walked on and stepped on, and so I understand where this is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And it has taken me a long time to humble myself
Mm-hmm.
and being able to accept and balance myself with my good and my bad.
Yeah.
I choose every day to be a good person when I know that I have the capability of being a horrible, nasty person. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
I make a choice every day
Yeah.
to come to people and to smile at them and to, how are you doing? What's going well? And I don't ask these as means to just have a conversation, which I know certain people do. I don't. I ask you, how are you doing? I mean it. Um, but I have come to terms with my good and my bad, and I make choices
Yeah.
every day to show up in the most loving, kind way, because that is who I am, even though I have the capability of being nasty and
Mm-hmm.
ugly. And it does come out when it is needed.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on
Needed.
that. I'm with you 100% on that. And, you know, look, I don't care who you listen to, what spiritual practice, what religion, there's a story about this everywhere. I
Right.
mean, you know, for those of my Christian friends that are listening, all you got to do is listen to Joyce Meyer. And Joyce will tell you how absolutely like mean Joyce
Mm.
was. But here's the point. We're here to learn things. And I agree with you. You know, my mom used to say, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. She used to say a lot of other things, though, too.
Right.
And, you know, I'm a kid from the Bronx. I grew up on the streets. I know what it's like to be that person. And it has been a journey for me to really move along, to learn what you just said.
Right.
Now, just because people call me Pollyanna Patty, let me tell you what that means. All that means is I see the world through rose-colored glasses sometimes
Mm.
when they wish I didn't.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to react. I mean, I walked off a match last Tuesday. I walked off the court, I got my coat, and I left.
Right.
Now, what's my lesson from it? Don't, Mama, my mother I must be channeling that Mama Darth. Mama used to say, girl, do not cut your nose off to spite your face. So
Oh,
this is the
yes.
dance.
Yes.
Now, look, I want to get back to what you opened and said. let's talk about work for a minute.
Mm.
You've worked in corporations and I
Oh.
have.
Mm. Oh.
And let's talk about your corporate experience and we could take it from there.
Yes. So I have worked many jobs. There is one in particular where I started out as a stalker, which sounds crazy, but it wasn't I wasn't a stalker. A stalking product. And then I went to the price change team, and this is a team where you change all of the prices in the store. You mark them down. You do all this. Well, when I started, within a week, everybody quit on the team, and I was like, "Oh man, what the heck is happening right now?" And I had to train myself. The whole store. I trained myself the whole store in 3 months. And I got so good that they were literally sending people from other stores to me to be trained. Well, we got new management. And when management came, he comes up to me and I introduced myself. I was like, "Hi, I'm Raina." And he was like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so." I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And he goes, "Yeah, so I hear you're the infamous Raina." And
Oh my gosh.
I went, what? Well, yeah, that's me. And in that moment, I was like, what does that mean? I don't even understand. And what it comes down to is not only did I know my job well, and the person over me did not, but I trained my people and I respected my people and I fought for my people. I was always kind. I was always understanding, but I explained things to people to help them in their job. So that way we can do our job the most efficient way. Yeah, do it the way I showed you until you learn the best way that works for you. And what I found out was that because I did protect my people, because I did stand up for my people, because I did know what I was doing, people saw that as some type of a threat. At one point, the manager came to me and he was like, "I need for you to do this." And I said, "No, because if I do this and my team does this for you, are you going to send people to help me and not jump in my case at the end of the week because I didn't reach productivity? Now, if you're going to give me help when I'm helping you, then yeah, I can do that. But if you're not, then no, my team's not doing that because I'm not getting my team in trouble for whatever." And because I explained it to him and I talked to him, he was like, "Okay, I see you. Your team doesn't have to do that." And being good doesn't mean that you have to push down that part of you that is assertive or that wants to defend other people. You can do it in a way where you can respond instead of reacting.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was logically explaining and showing him things, he respected me for that.
Yeah.
But most companies will sit up there and be like, "No, you got to do what I'm telling you," and And for people like me, they will try to push me down. And don't get me wrong, because after that, there was no way I was getting a promotion. Every
That's
time I went up
right.
for a promotion, that why have someone so strong-willed that is good, that is actually having integrity? Why are we going to promote her?
Yeah. Well, they
'Cause I
should have
see
they
it
should have
many other
really read
people.
my research. You see,
Yeah.
because if they'd have read the research, they'd have said you better honor that because it creates a whole shadow of mistrust. But look
Mhm.
at what's happening there. See, we are so confused. Let's talk about this for a minute. See, we confuse standing up for ourselves as the dark side. It is not. And
Right.
and I have to tell you, I have had more calls in the past month with people where I have had to say, stop. Don't don't say a thing. Just get me your supervisor. And they're like, no,
Right.
I can help you. No, 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 you can't. Okay, I'm just saying you can't help me. You don't actually, you really don't want to help me. And
Right.
Linda and I fought. We clocked 72 hours
Wow.
calls with Verizon.
Wow.
72 hours. Now, people say that's ridiculous. You couldn't have. No, wait a minute, folks. Every call was 3 to 4 hours. It didn't get
Yes.
resolved
Yes.
until I got to the point where I said, no, you have to fix this. This is fraud. I'm going to report you to the Attorney General. But you see,
Right.
most people think you're going to report me. You're a you know what. But let's
Right.
talk about this. What factors do you think impact us when we have to hide that level of assertiveness? And the shadow and dark side happens when not in the what you do, Raina, but the how we do it. That's when
Right.
we get into trouble, right?
Right.
Now, I got into trouble for walking off the court.
Yeah. Right. Right. But you stood up for
I
what you
did.
felt, and you weren't
I
going to put up
did.
with crap, and you, instead of losing your shit on everybody,
I
you
know,
walked
right?
away.
I
What,
know.
why is it necessary for us to lose our shit on people, for people to go, oh, okay, she's got her stuff together, when in actuality you showed more restraint by walking away and not putting up with them,
Yeah.
which is
Look,
good.
and let's talk about this from our pop culture and movies because we have time. But before we do that, um, I want people to know how they work with you, how they can hire you, because part of this is a dance that you and I are talking about. And in the world we're living in today, you better know how to navigate. As a matter of fact, I had to keep muting myself right now because Linda's on the phone with the water company for the 999th
Oh
million
no.
time.
Oh no.
Right, yeah, yeah. Uh, uh, because they can't even tell her what the insurance covers in her house, right? So
Wow.
part of this is how do we have the perspective to know that our dark side, our darkness and shadow is showing up? And do you think that it is demonstrated in our pop culture? Because part of what you do for a living is you help people navigate those waters. So how do people find out more about you? How can we give them some information here? Because I got to tell you, dark side showing up every day.
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. Um, so you can get in touch with me, coachqueenieb.com. And then of course I have my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Mm,
Uh, you can find me either Raina Bigham, Renia Bigham, like big ham,
yeah.
um, or Conscious Empowerment Coaching. Um, and then we can set up
Yeah.
consultations and talk that way for
All
sure.
right. I'm going to make a 360 turn and come back. Now, I cannot say who the person is, but a very dear friend of mine who I'm working very closely with. He's working with me on the company and an upcoming summit that we're planning. Um, went out of the country, can't get back.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you can't just bomb Iran and think
Right.
it's not going to affect airlines, right? You just can't. I mean, you could try it, but I don't think that
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
It's just like oopsie. But part of this is me watching how cool he is about it.
Mm,
And his email was so beautiful. It was, going to work from here, da 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 da. So that's why I'm bringing it up because this gentleman is such a role model for me right now.
right.
But I want to ask you, this darkness, this shadow, are we going a little bit berserko in our pop culture, in the movies we have? What are we doing? And then we need to save a next show, because here's what I think.
Hmm.
I think sometimes my behavior, I watched one of my colleagues equal do the same thing, and he never got in trouble for it.
Oh, right.
Oopsie.
Right.
So why do we try to hide our shadow? Is it because we know sometimes, especially as women, that the dark side of things just comes back to get us? And let's not even talk about being a person of color.
Oh yeah, no, because the moment we start yelling or screaming or anything, we're not in control, we're crazy, we need to calm down. oh, we're insecure, whatever. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's kind of being normalized to be able to gaslight and manipulate and put people down because they do have that part of them that comes up, and it's powerful in that moment, and it scares people. And I think that's one of the reasons why they don't like it, but they also don't like it because it expresses a part of people that people aren't used to, unless they're the bad guy, at which point then you're cool, you've got power, and you can do this, that, and the other, but to be a good person and all of a sudden lose your shit, you've gone crazy.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it's who we are. We just choose our times, hopefully, of when that part of us comes out.
Yeah. See, when I used to ride my Harley Davidson, I never used to have to say anything.
Right.
The minute I
Right.
got off of that chopped black flaming thing, it was so counter to my personality that I was totally misjudged.
Right.
Let's talk about this. You see, it's taken me a long time to accept who I am, all parts of me.
Mm.
I'm still a work in progress.
Yes.
I am just not going to let GoDaddy get away with what they just did.
No.
And I'm actually going to do a show about it because people need to know what GoDaddy's doing in terms of billing and payments. And if they knew
Right.
that, they would think twice.
Right.
But part of this is just knowing how to respond.
Exactly. I mean, we have those moments where we get so and we want to defend ourselves. Most of this is defending ourselves or people around us that we feel we know who they are. Most of the time, it's better to sit back, listen, observe, and then respond. Because then most people, the reason why they say certain things that they say is because they're feeling a certain way and they want you to react a certain way so that way they can feel better about themselves. And then when you turn around and you're like, okay, well, that's not cool. I don't appreciate that. And I'm leaving until you get your shit straight. Then they're like, oh my God. And I think that's what it is with me, is because I don't respond in those ways that people think, or I don't react, I respond. That's where people are like, well, you should be mean.
Yeah.
Or you should be more of a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, clearly we draw a line in the sand with who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And we're not talking murder here. We're talking about the way we show up in life. And there's a reason that I did not have, or do not to this day, a lot of sponsees in my 12-step program. There is a reason. I'm tough at it. Listen, thank you for today. Give out your website again, but also give us your closing message. Do we hold them or do we fold them?
Well, that's a good question. So CoachQueenieB.com is where you can reach me. And my closing message is accept all parts of who you are. I know that being good looks like some type of a stigma that we shouldn't be doing, or that because you are good, people can walk over you. But when you start to learn your boundaries, when you start to learn who you are and what you are willing to accept and no longer accept, you don't even have to worry about responding. You can actually just walk away, but accept all parts of who you are, the good and the bad, because in order for you to be whole, you need them both weaved and intertwined.
And I want to say to you, I think, Raina, thank you for that. I also want to say that you're going to see the lighter side of both of us. I'm hoping that Raina and I can do a show on the funny side of this, because there are funny moments. You know, when I found out that I was part Brazilian, because my grandfather was a farmer in Brazil, and I started to talk about it, I got backlash like nobody's business except from the Brazilians.
Oh, right.
And one of my Brazilian relatives, and I'm going to end with this. Please, you folks in Italy, don't take this personally. This is what she actually said to me. She said, you know, I'm looking at you. I don't know why people don't see you as coming from South America. And by the way, us Brazilians were much better looking. I'm going to leave everybody with that, but I did feel good about that. Raina, thank you. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Thank you.
To Becoming the Beautiful Discovery with me, Coach Queenie B and Dr. Pat. Join us the first Monday each month at 11 a.m. Pacific time to embark on this journey of courage, awakening, and self-discovery. If today's episode inspired you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe so others can join the movement too. For more resources, tools, and inspiration, visit CoachQueenieB.com. Remember, visit CoachQueenieB.com. And remember, your journey is your power. Keep waking up, claiming your truth, and becoming the beautiful discovery you are always meant to be.